Hey guys, we're back again on the Laika Oreo series. This is of course the Laika account. It's been quite a while since I've made a video on here, and that's because I've been very preoccupied with other accounts, the giveaway accounts, so on and so forth, and I've been worried about progression. But as you can see here, we've got something pretty awesome to talk about. So the last Lucian rotation, I summoned 4 Lucian with stones on I believe 4, maybe 5 accounts, in hopes of getting a Lucian, of course. And of all the accounts to receive one, which is crazy because this account only had 3 summons, it was of course the Laika account, and that's just nuts to me. Of course, showing that of course the rates are random. I understand there's a probability of getting lightning at all, and then from that lightning, the small probability of getting specifically Lucian out of those stones. And I got Lucian on here on the second summon out of 3 stones. Whereas, like, on my account, I had 12 or 14 summons. On another account, I had, like, 20-something summons out of stones. So it was crazy that this account of all the accounts got the illusion. But this is the account that probably needed it the most. So just a little refresher on the Laika account, because I know it has been quite a while since I created a video on it. I'd never fused Vero on this account. I pretty much used Laika to cheat my way into Giant Speed 10. What I mean by that is my rune requirements on all my other monsters in my team are not up to par with where they should be. Even Laika, you can see, hits very small numbers. That's as a result of him being on a vampire blade set, and so the pool of vampire runes I have is very limited. It's all from crafting. And so the Laika's stats are limited to whatever I can get from crafting. I've got some okay runes from crafting. Of course, he is going to be on a Fatal Blade set eventually because his attack is only plus 800, which is extremely low for an attack in slot 2 and slot 6, I understand. But at the same time, I wanted him on Vampire because that's how I'm able to cheat my way into Giant Speed 10. And so, as such, Laika's pretty much been carrying me because by the time I get to the boss, it's Laika and one other unit usually, which means that Laika essentially has to solo the boss. Hopefully it's a defense breaker, it makes it go by quick. And then with all the other units dead, Laika's Justice can do some huge numbers. So that's how I've been able to farm Giant Speed 10 this whole time. But anyways, I got Lucian. I had the 5-star food all ready to make him a 6-star, so I turned him right into a 6-star. And of course I put the best Fatal Blade runes that I had on him. I'll go ahead and show you guys the runes here. They're nothing special, and of course I'm always working towards making him even better. For attack slot 2 and slot 6, his attack is very low. I feel like his crit rates are respectable, and his crit damage is not too bad for this stage of the game. Of course, I do have that slot 4 plus 15, so here are the runes. You can see, I mean, this has generally everything we're looking for on a rune, decent crit damage, decent crit rate, and we have some attack as well. Of course, it'd be better with speed, but I'm not complaining. We've got this rune right here, not too bad, it just needs to be brought up to plus 15. This rune's pretty good, speed, crit rate, crit damage. Of course, we can't have attack on this rune. So HP and accuracy are kind of what you aim for on those kind of runes. This one's really good because it has attack percentage and crit rate as a substat to this crit damage, and it's really high attack for a 5-star rune. So I really like that. It's a minimum of 2 max rolls, but I think it was actually 3 rolls into this. And then, or no, I guess it was 2. It was double max roll into attack and then 1 roll into crit rate that was low on a purple rune. That's pretty cool. This rune was okay. Of course, we did want the attack percentage, but that's fine. I mean, it's still got good crit rate, good crit damage, and then speed sub. And this rune has really high crit rate, good crit damage, and of course it's attack main stat, so the only thing we could hope from the substats is speed. So the Lucian's not too bad for this point. Of course, we don't have 6-star slot 2, 4, and 6s yet, but I think for 5-star runes, it's not terrible. His speed's a little bit low, something I'd like to improve in the future, just because you do want your Lucian to outspeed the golems and the mid-boss, of course, so that they get to use their abilities before they're attacked, in hopes of clearing the waves faster and not just getting stun locked. But there we go with that. We now have 5 6-stars on this account, and yeah, it's pretty interesting. So Rauk got stripped a little bit, or a lot of it, I should say. Rauk did previously have the best Fatal Blade set we had, just because we were farming with him and screwing around in some Guild Wars and Guild Siege with him as well. So we kind of neglected Rauk for now, but we did it was for the sake of Lucian, so I think it's all the way worth it. So our other units that we have in our comp, here is my Laika. Oh, it's plus 900 attack, but about the same thing. It's like the attack's really low, the crit damage is pretty low. But you can see the runes we have on him. It's like, I mean, this crit rate, crit damage, and attack rune right here is really, really good. For a crafted rune, it's amazing. It literally has everything Laika wants. So like in terms of Laika, this rune is perfect. This rune, of course, is nothing. It's got crit rate and a tiny little bit of speed. Preferably, it would be 6-star, and we'd have HP and defense in there as subs too, because of course you want your Laika to be tanky enough to take some hits, fast enough to get some attacks off, and have high enough crit rate for damage and attack in order to actually put out those huge numbers you want to see. You can see slot 1 is kind of bad too. His slot 2 has no subs really, besides the speed. All the rest of the subs are kind of useless. The inbuilt HP is kind of decent, but the rest of it's kind of garbage. This vampire rune is not terrible. Again, for a crafted rune, it's got high crit rate, tiny little bit of crit damage, and then HP and defense, which is not terrible. So this rune as well, it's just got speed. So you can see that actually to this vampire blade set, we actually could improve it eventually. I mean, I don't have any runes right now that I could swap out for those, but there's possible improvements while keeping Laika on Vampire, which is really, really cool to see, because I would like to keep Vampire Laika alive as long as possible, just because he's really, really fun on Vampire. He's really useful in Guild Wars and Guild Siege. He puts out big numbers even against like early Conqueror level defenses that I see, so it's pretty fun, mostly because he's a Nat 5 and he's got a really, really fun kit, a really advantageous kit. If you bring a defense breaker or an attack bar, or whenever you bring some sort of buffer or debuffer, it really multiplies his damage, you know, like crazy. Or I should say magnifies the amount of potential he has, you know, and really allows you to fully utilize like his kit. So I've been using him there. Of course, like I said in the last video, I did join into the guild. I haven't been put in the Guild Wars, but that's completely fine. It's because this is an alternate account. We have other players that need to attack, newer players. So I have opted out of the wars still, but we are still getting these guild points, so I'm able to get the Rainbow Mon every week. I can't remember the Ifrit progress. We haven't gotten enough for an Ifrit piece yet, but I have been getting the Rainbow Mons every week. And I have definitely been slacking on this account. That's one thing I must note, is that the progress on this account is not as substantial as progress you're going to see on my account, or the amount of progress you're going to see on the giveaway accounts even, because there's some days I even grind harder on the giveaway accounts than I do on my personal account, because of course I need to get that, you know, I need to get that out by the end of the month, every month for you guys. But what I'm saying is I don't put as much priority as I should be into the Laika account. So now I'm working twice as hard lately to really get this account pushed forward, because I really want to see big progress on this account. Mostly I want to see what really, really amazing runes on a Laika is going to do for my transition from Giants to Dragons. Because I will be trying to force Laika into a Dragons team, and see how that goes. I think that his passive is going to make him uniquely qualified for Dragons, as he has a lot more survivability built into his kit. Although at that point in time, I don't think I'm going to be able to get away with having him on a Vampire Blade set, just because his damage output isn't going to be as big, and he probably won't have enough tankiness, but we'll see when we get to that point. So here's my Giants team with the addition of Lucian, of course. The big problem I have is Lucian doesn't amputation magic the first wave half the time, which sucks, because if Lucian amputation magics off of an attack buff, then he will clear the first wave. So, you know, it sucks when I don't see that, and he'll amp magic here when there's no attack buff, of course. But you'll see he'll clear the wave no problem if he has the attack buff up. He almost has 100% crit rate with the elemental advantage over water. He's at 97% because he has 82% crit rate, plus the 15% bonus from the elemental advantage over water units. So he'll crit every single time almost on the water units during the waves, which really helps, because it helps me clear them way faster. And I love to see those waves get cleared really quick, because it speeds up the time of the Giants runs, of course. I am double mining Lucian. I know I could farm from the skill ups, but on this account, with the limit of both crystals and the limit of how far in each of the elemental dungeon stages I can go, I'm not going to be farming skill ups for Lucian anytime soon. Although in the future, I would love to be in a spot where if I find the units, if for example, if I summon units that are used for the JoJo fusion, of course I will be saving them, awakening them as I can, and leveling them up, because of course I would like to prioritize Devilmond to natural 5 stars. Although at the moment the only other Nat 5 on this account that is not Devilmond is Chiwu. I hope you guys haven't forgotten about Chiwu. I certainly haven't, and I can't wait to use him, as he's going to play a pretty big part in my arena offense that's coming up soon. I am going to do a Chiwu lead Megan Bernard Lucian composition, and that's basically going to be my arena offense moving up into, you know, the fighter ranks, and maybe even moving into earlier Conqueror until I replace, you know, or maybe have a second Lucian for a double Lucian composition. So those are my plans for now. In terms of Lucian's build, of course, I am looking for 6-star runes. You can see here's like basically the optimum or the optimal outcome of this team. It finishes around 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 20 seconds. Sometimes it'll go a little bit higher, sometimes it'll be down to 2 minutes, but that's, you know, that's about the speed I'm farming at. So I've been going through and just trying to grind through giants and get runes for these units. Other units that I've been trying to think about or plan for are Hua. I would like to build Hua in the future, as I don't really have a swift damage dealer on this account, and I think it's really nice when you have damage dealers or units that aren't on conflicting rune sets as much, and if you want to build those units, that's fine, because they're not going to be conflicting with your main dungeon teams. What I mean by that is my Lucian is primarily going to be on Fatal Blade. My Laika is eventually going to be on Fatal Blade, so those are 2 Fatal Blade sets. And then my Shannon, Bella, and Bernard are all going to be on Swift Energy. So all of them are going to be on Swift support sets, and all of my damage dealers are going to be on Fatal attacker sets, which means that Swift attacker sets are going to be open for any unit that wants them. That means that Hua is going to have runes that aren't conflicting with any of my main damage dealers or main supports in my team. So Hua is going to have runes free to be used. And so that means that building a Hua is not gonna stunt my progress at all, and is gonna allow me to expand into other areas of the game without negatively affecting my Giants team. And that's generally how I like to progress, and more than progress, how I like to build units. Of course, my priority whenever I play this game has always been to put my very best units on my very best runes, or the units that I'm going to be using in the most places, and the units that I'm going to be using in my dungeons. So, of course, my Lucian will probably always have my best Fatal Blade set. Of course, this is the first Lucian I've ever pulled on an account that has belonged to me. I have pulled Lucian for other people, Starry Night, a few other people I've summoned for in the past, I've pulled Lucians for. And so, having my own first Lucian, I'm going to get to play around a lot with the priority of this. Of course, I have gotten to play around with Starry Night's Lucian a tiny little bit, but I haven't had a chance to consistently grind with it, consistently see what kind of positive impact it can have on progression and you know, of course, other areas of the game as well. So I'm really excited to put all of my good Fatal Blade runes on Lucian. I look forward to grinding through these, 450 or so crystals that I have, 500 crystals that I have. And also some TOA stuff I have to do, right? So I believe I could get to TOA hard 40 at the minimum, and TOA hard 60 or 70, perhaps in this TOA rotation. Of course, it has 2 more days, so today and tomorrow I'm going to be grinding in TOA a little bit. I'm also super excited because, of course, every time TOA resets, it means I get all those extra crystals, all those bonus scrolls for more chances at an additional Lucian. But yeah, of course, more importantly, the crystals that are going to help me farm. There's this great event going on, the huge rune crafting event, the anniversary event. So I think I'm actually going to get a vampire rune from that. I understand that's not going to be as impactful throughout the entire game, but I think a vampire slot 4 crit damage rune would be very, very impactful to this account and really push my Laika forward. I understand it's not the most conservative move. It's not the, of course, picking a violent speed slot 2 is usually going to be your best bet in terms of grabbing a rune, unless you've got plenty of those sitting around and you need another very niche rune. But I'm not worried about that on this account. This account's worrying about using Laika, putting Laika to his full potential, and growing this account's progression using him. So, as such, I'm going to prioritize him when it comes to rune crafts. If I have optional rune crafts from events, they're probably going to be in a violent or blade, probably violent, or vampire or blade, and vampire will always get the priority for Laika, of course. So other things on this account that I plan to do in the future, like I said, I do want to build Hua. I do need to 6-star my Galleon. One thing to note is that my Galleon is max skilled. I Devilmonned him a while back, just because I had enough Devilmons on the account. So he's been Devilmonned. Of course, I am Devilmonning Lucian. You can see so far he has got 6, I believe. Yeah, 6 skill ups into his skills. So we need what? 2, 5, 7 more skill ups, and Lucian's going to be good. It kind of sucks that we don't really have a lot of food in terms of getting JoJo's, but we're actually probably going to farm for that because 7 skill ups is a lot of skill ups. But as I get Devilmon, I'm going to feed him into him anyways because it's really, really important that I have Lucian skilled up now for arena progression and for Giants. So if you guys have any questions or comments about this series, this account, or anything else Summoners War related, be sure to leave them in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Hey guys, it's West again. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe for more.